Okay, so this is just a video to review how to add integers using a number line. And so the number line is on the screen here. And so let's just go through some examples. For example, if I had 2 plus -5. Sometimes you see it with brackets, sometimes you don't, so don't worry about whether it has brackets or not. So to use a number line to do a question like that, we're going to find our starting point, which is 2. So that's right here. And if we're adding, normally we go this way, but this time we're adding a negative. So when we add a negative, we're actually going to go this way. And so all you do is from 2, you count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at -3. So 2 plus -5 is -3. So let's do another one, and I'll just erase that previous starting point. So we'll do another one. Let's have 5 plus -2. So I'm at 5. So here's 5. I'm going to add -2. So I count 1, 2, and I'm going to end up at 3. Let's try some maybe where I start with a negative number. So I'm going to start with -3, and I'm going to add -2. Oops, that's supposed to say -2. So I'm at -3, and I'm going to add -2. So again, because I'm adding a negative, I go to the left, and I'm going to end up at -5. So the number line can really help you if you're struggling with addition. So let's do another one. -4 plus -3. So let me get my eraser and erase that. So that means I'm starting at -4. So here's my starting point. I'm adding a negative. So I go 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to end up at -7. So what happens when I add, let's say, when I start with a negative, but I add a positive. So all of these ones, we were adding negatives. So what happens when I add a positive? Well, I'm going to start at -3. When I add a positive, I'm going to move to the right. So from -3, I'm going to move to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gives me an answer of 2. Let's do another one. -6 plus 4. So I'll erase that, and we'll start the next one. So -6, so here's where I start, plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to end up at -2. Now this type of question here, 2 plus 4, you're used to, because you've done that for years. But this is also an integers question. So if I started at 2, so I can use the number line 2, and I add 4, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I know all of you know that answer, and you don't need to use the number line for that, but I'm just showing you that you can. So when we actually look at these answers, we can break it down into different categories. So these ones at the bottom, these 3, we had the signs the same. So either 2 negatives added together or 2 positives added together. When we examine those, when we add 2 negatives, what's happening? Well, a negative plus a negative, we're going even further away from 0 and getting more negative. So if you notice that, that's why when on the other video I talked about sort of a rule, I talked about the fact that when you add things with the same sign, you just add the numbers and then put the sign on after. And so when you're doing your problem like -3 plus -2, you can think of it as just 3 plus 2 and then just throw the negative in there. Now that may or may not be helpful for you. You have to find a way that works for you. And a lot of people really do like the number line. And so if you like the number line, make sure you're using it. If this still doesn't work for you, please come and see me, and I can go through a demonstration of also using integer discs, which you may find helpful. And likewise, if you notice here, when we add 2 positive numbers, again, we're just adding the numbers and we're keeping the positive sign. Now, the ones up here are different also. So these ones, the signs are different from each other. And so we have a positive plus a negative, or a negative plus a positive. And if we examine those closely, what we notice is every time we're actually finding the difference between the numbers. So if we did 5 minus 2, we'd get 3. And so we have a 3 here. If we did 5 minus 2, we'd get 3. If we did 5 minus 3, we'd get 2. If we did 6 minus 4, we'd get a 2. And then the only tricky part with these ones is the sign. And so notice here, the bigger number was negative. Notice that our answer is negative. Here, the bigger number was positive, and our answer is positive. And so that's where that rule came from also. When you add, when the signs are opposite, you find the difference between the numbers, and you keep the sign of the larger number. And so hopefully you find this a little bit maybe easier if you were struggling with adding integers. If you need to have a number line, just draw one in your notes, and you can always have one. There's also always one in the wall of the classroom to help you.